Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to the Hell City Builder of the Dead. Now I've already played this game a month ago in the playtest version and we're jumping into it once again as the next episode has been released against Rangda. This is once again a sponsored video by Metropolis and I'd like to show you hands-on gameplay of this very complex and unforgiving city builder with tight resource management, with quite a lot of deep and complex mechanics. And also probably one of the most interesting settings I've ever played, that is we're playing as a city in hell that needs to defeat a titan, and this is what it's all about. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description to learn more about this game, and also don't forget to check out the Kickstarter campaign link to support the developers directly. Let's get cracking.
The year 1883, Krakatoa volcano's explosion. Krakatoa's cataclysmic eruption unfolded dramatically in Indonesia's Sunda Strait over 5 months from 20th May to 21st October. It reached a terrifying crescendo on 27th August during the late morning hours when more than 70% of the island of Krakatoa and its surrounding archipelago were obliterated as it collapsed into a massive caldera. The wrath of burning lava and towering tsunami alas swallowed at least 36,417 lives. The sky was darkened worldwide for years, but beautiful sunsets became the new curtains for many months. British artist William Escroft drew thousands of colorful pictures of the red sunset seen from halfway across the world after the eruption. It was suggested that the red sky in Edvard Munch's 1893 painting The Scream is bloody accurately painted. Today's special: chaos and fire. Welcome to the year of 1883. Do be careful of that bitch, though.
Alright, and here we are now in the game, and balancing Act 1 it is. Order has fallen, this is rebellion, new souls arrive already agitated. And we need to get everything back in order, and this is where we're starting once again with our little purgatory in the center of it. We also got our Titan Rangda over here, she's looking really crazy. And she's gonna, well, cause us to get a lot of souls that we can then convert into sinners again. Once again, I urge you to watch my first video about the hell, because I'm also explaining a lot of mechanics here. So we need to start with getting our city on track. We also get a little guideline here of what we need to achieve to finish the first act. And yeah, we're gonna start, of course, with some bloodbath paths here. That we get all the way over there, because we need to also start with a lot of tombs again. There we have them, the basic housing that we need for our souls. Before they became souls, many believed death to be a reset, a gentle severance from the worlds, a passage to heaven, or some fabled place of peace. But lies wrapped them like shrouds, deception is all they ever knew, and so they turned grim, each one awakening to the truth. It was all fairy tales, all lies. And we can choose our first decree. All core resource production increased by 60%, leading to a 20% rise in global agitation. which makes my population a bit unstable. And all core resource production is increased by 100%, leading to a 50% rise in global agitation. Let's actually go with the 20% rise in global agitation, because I think 60% core resource production is already quite a bit, so I can actually live with that. Also, we get now soldiers and sadists. This is also new as opposed to the first mission. So souls can now turn into different types of sadists, and there's a balance of power between soldiers and sadists that we need to keep in check. And right now we're starting with a total balance here. Right, with that we get the Siren. That's a soldier type, and Siren is a calming soldier that reduces the agitation of my population. We can also now produce weapons, and we need to house them in shelters that we have, the Siren script. So this is also one of the very first missions that we have. Let's actually start building some tombs, right, to get some basic workforce in. I'm gonna have me, yeah, a bunch of them here. As far as I know, they don't need a road connection, all of them. And then we got the Siren script. But before we do that, we should also get a basic economy going, right? Because we still don't have anything here. So I would also like to start with some basic housing and some basic resource production. That is, for example, the Sulking refinery, my basic building for producing waste, which is going to be very important. The same goes with my Dad Hope. And here we squeeze every ounce of sanity into fear, and we produce fear with that. So let's also get this one going. Got the needle cage to, yeah, exploit sinners and tormenting cries to produce tears. That's also really cool, or cries, that is. The altar would produce all of that. We need a cauldron to produce special resources. So I'm gonna have this on the other side. And yeah, brewery and stuff like that we're gonna need later. Very important though is the blood pump. So I'm not gonna make the mistake again of not building enough of them. So we're gonna have the blood pump then here. Each one of them though requires a road connection. So if I wanna get some more going, I will have to actually add them here. And let's make sure that I'm not running out of space here. Right, so there's another one, and then we could have more here. That's 3 already. So this is a lot of construction we're starting with once again. And there's all my sinners coming out now, right? So once again, we have the souls. There are the souls, right? They're moving. So these are the dead people. They just died. They're moving to my stone. And over here, we are turning them into sinners. And sinners we can then use for, yeah, anything we want, really. They are the embodiments of the souls, basically. And there are a lot of them, as you can see. Okay, got the Sulking refinery going. It's gonna produce me waste. We can produce now waste mines then on top of that. That will push the production output. My cauldron is ready, and this one here we're going to use to process waste now into embers. Ember is the next processed resource here. So we got the basic resources more or less, then we got the processed resources, then we got anything that, well, comes with liquor or, yeah, liquidity, and then we have also the soldiers here and also our souls and sinners. So lots of resources we need to balance around. What happened here? Finally, we can build the waste mine, and off I go and do it. Let's start with the first one here. So they're directly going to boost the refinery here, producing more waste. And waste is really important as we need it for any other processing industry then. Also blood. Let's make sure that we're never running out of it. Would be very bad for business. Let's also get cracking with the blacksmith. I would probably like to have this one a bit further over here. So important that we get more waste in, so I could also augment a building like the refinery with hemoglobin that I have over here. And this one, 120, we can use to push this one by 50%, right? So we're pushing out 50% more resources now for a certain period of time. All right, let's get the next blood pump going over here. And I'm pretty sure I'm also gonna need a bit more housing. So I'm gonna add like 2 more tombs over there as well. I just love how busy everything gets so quickly. So there's so many moving parts, right, that you need to watch out. Got the blacksmith ready, so here we can now decide on weapons. The first one is the harps. Crystal and bones are being processed into harps, and once we have a demand for them, they're gonna be produced then. And demand we have with sirens that we want to recruit. And for this we need a sanctum, and we also need some basic housing for them. So the housing, we can already start. Let's have the housing on that side of the path, right? So 3 houses the game wants me to have. And then we need to build a sanctum. I'm gonna have this one also a bit further over here. Or wait a second. Let's actually squeeze it in over there, just by the blacksmith. And the brewery is pretty much essential as well for my next resources that I'm gonna need. So let's also have this one right here. Just love the details, by the way. So every production building has its own animations. I should also work on some basic storage. So let's start with the keep. This one, make sure that we can house more resources that I need for construction. And since construction is getting quite expensive, this might make sense. And there we finished the first mission.
The mad titan.
Right.
Trapped here too long. Her sanity lost.
So it's about Rangda the Titan. She's been trapped here and she's mad, losing her sanity. The caldera holds back a great stillness. Its water is perfect for the task that we have. So this is a lake up here full of stillness, and we can use this to calm her down.
Above the
But
titan is a caldera, and there lies the statue of Michael, the fallen angel, the faithful brother.
the statue of Michael over here, and yeah, we need to build the Damsel of Distress. And this one is kind of like a monument construction. It's gonna take quite some time. And the Archangel Michael descended from heaven to beg Lucifer to return. It's just a family dispute. Lucifer refused even to meet his younger brother at his citadel gate, despite Michael harrowing a river. Siren production is 50% faster, but a bit more expensive. Gonna go ahead with this. And with that, we're also getting a heat wave now. That means that structures will catch fire, and Rangda is a mad titan, and her rage is gonna intensify all of this. And the caldera holds a great stillness up there, and we need to begin the construction of the Damsel of Distress. This is time consuming, and once it's finished, we can use then this to calm her down. For this, we need to start with the holding lift over here, and this consumes now labor force, right? So once we assign some labors to this, we will have a continuous investment of them, because they're getting consumed by it. So I need to make sure that we get lots of workforce ready for this. And that is where the tombs are coming in. So we need to build another 20 tombs. Gonna be quite expensive for sure. And it's also consume a lot of sinners that we still need. Since the population goes up and my production buildings increase, we also need to get more blood in. And for this, we can upgrade the blood pumps that we have so far. So let's start with 3 of them. This will consume some rust, which is a special resource that is used for upgrading. So let's start with that. There are my tombs. Do we have more sinners now? Very good. And we can also upgrade those tombs to house even more sinners. Let's also construct the Babel of Lies. This is a security building, and it will increase the order of my domain, right? And order is super important, because the better the order, the more efficient everything is working. So we should not let this run out, or run down, that is. And that means the order of Babel of Lies is important, and yeah, it's also part of the mission because of that. Yeah, I'm working right now on more industrial production here, so blood pumps. Consuming my sinners to produce blood is one of them. So we're pushing more blood pumps than ever. Also, more sinners, of course. And as you can see, we're getting directly now the souls, plus the housing that I have available is the conversion rate of my sinners. And we can actually upgrade the purgatory to produce even more. And it's actually quite a massive bump in everything up if we can afford this. 500 bones it is. For this, we're gonna need, though, a lot of blood. That is something we just don't have right now. Alright, get the next special enemy, the succubus, and yeah, we need to fight them off. Each whisper spreads like rot, each gaze feeds the fire. The longer they linger, the faster agitation rises. So sentries in the guardhouses we need to have. We need to construct chambers to house these sentries. And that is then exactly what is going on over here. So as long as we have some workforce, that should work out. And the Sabotage Succubus has one head with 4 faces, Poser with an air of grandeur. We can once again choose a decree, and their health is increased, but the Sirens calm souls faster. Or Succubus agitate less souls, but soul turning chance is increased by 25%. Let's actually go with this. Since it's still gonna take some time for me to actually, you know, get them in here. So we also need to, I think now, produce the next weapon. Okay, now we're producing sentries out of the mace, that is rust and ember. Oh, rust is actually a bit of a problem because it's very expensive to produce. It costs me blood and a lot of that too. And with that, we can house them in the sentries chambers and, yeah, eliminate the succubus. After a while, it's time to also put now some of the first laborers into the damn cell, and we'll just see how that works with our economy. If I now spend 50 laborers on that continuously. Oh yeah, what is going on now? Command all the 7 pandemics. The Pandemonium is a unique structure in your domain. Unique buildings are already built when you arrive, and the pillars of the Pandemonium are carved in languages lost to the living. Choose a pandemic that suits your needs and cast it upon your domain. Okay, so that's the tree over there. The brain tree that we have. This beauty. And this one has now the pandemic in here, right? So it has actually 3 points that we can choose here, but the pandemic is the first one, and this opens up the tree. And here we can now choose one of these here, right? And it costs me. And yeah, it has an effect then. Like sinners no longer die during this pandemic, and no souls can be turned to sadists during this pandemic. So that's actually really useful. I like this one. One of your resources is fully filled up during this pandemic. Can we choose the resource? Let's have a look at that. Oh, wow. We need to process 500 souls for this to become a fact. That's quite a lot. And our dearest 7 deadly sins. Without you, we will be empty. All pandemics are cheaper, but take 30% longer to recover. And all pandemics are more expensive, but cool down faster. Let's go with this one. Cheaper, because this means we need less of these resources there. And that's the mercury that we produce here out of fear. Finally, we can also cast one of the pandemics that we researched with the mercury that we have. And this one is now effective. And that's the pyramid that we just selected. And there are special powerful uses that we, of course, unlocked first at my tree. I'm also upgrading our purgatory for the first time with 500 bones that we invested into this one. Will take some time. Stories of the Still. Many hells ago, when Lucifer was still a morning star, he watched his father battle Leviathan, a chrome dragon braided with time. There was no fury, only the elegant consumption of knowledge mid-conflict. Another decree: the brewery produces 50% more, the cauldron produces 50% more. I like this one a lot. The brewery will constantly full anyway of the things that we need. The cauldron, that's the really nice thing. Alright, also the dreadful tree has now the unlock progress with the tree of evil, the lowers. Then we got the pandemic, the deadly sins, and the root of evil, the sanctions. At this point, we got all 500 sinners now working at the damsel of distress, and this one's coming along at 30% now. What I really like is there's actually these structures appearing now, right? So this is automatic. Also up here, there is something now. And also there. I'm actually a bit afraid of the events that are coming now. There's 3 events coming in. It looks a bit stable. I like it. Even though blood is rather low. We do have, though, enough workforce. So I'm considering upgrading my blood pumps and just getting us a few more in. Don't forget, though, we are also consuming a lot of blood out of the altar, for example. Alright, so right now we're consuming blood to make rust. Yeah, definitely gonna stick around with that. Or a bit more ember for now. There you go. Alright, we are now in Act 6 already. Fire and ice. With each level, new forms reveal themselves. Stone, ice, fire, each one holds a different strength. It is your task to choose the form that suits your domain's needs. Choose poorly and you will endure a grueling reign. That doesn't sound cool. Increase a soul conversion rate by switching to the stone. That's over here, right?
Devised hell construct created by Lord Lucifer himself.
We could also switch to the ice, to the fire, convert souls to sinners, limit the number of souls that become sadists. Oh, for this we actually have an action that I can use, and that's no souls can be turned to sadists during this stage. That we can activate right away. And we can also choose a new decree. The ice reduces agitation rate by another 30%. Yeah, let's go ahead with this, because the fire we don't theoretically need, since I do have the wrath for that, right? Over here. So let's activate this one right away, as it helps me with all of that a bit. And then we have the stone over there that we can now upgrade with enough embers. So I really need to push. The cool thing is, my cauldron is producing quite a bit. And my total storage right now, can we see this up here, is 400. So we don't have enough total storage. So I will need to reduce, for example, the amount of rust that I can store, maximum. Right, so this leads to more maximum resource then, right? And with that, we can store now 500. So that we have enough then. Alright, have enough ember. Now we can upgrade. Let's do this. There it is. Ice. And now we want to turn to fire. Oh, that's actually really interesting, because now we need 800 ember. My storage building, let's have a look at that, is storing bone and ember. So with this we have 800 max now. Very good. I'm not storing anything except bones and ember. I don't even need the bones theoretically. So in this case here, let's just stick around with ember now till we have enough. I could build another cauldron, by the way, because I think one is not doing it anymore. Let's build that. And we do have not enough labor workforce. That means I also will need to get more tombs going. I've upgraded most of my tombs at this point, by the way. So I really need to build a few more. Of course, we're doing all of this while maintaining our liquors, while maintaining our order, and also while maintaining our soldier to sadist rating. And limiting the number of souls that become sadists, we can continuously also limit by casting our pride. And with having once again 800 ember, we can upgrade once again. Now we have actually finished all of this here, so I'm just waiting for this one now to be over again, right? Limit the number of souls. And also get continuously fires now. Okay, there's 3 things coming in again. Also a disruption. Now, what is that?
The shaker.
The shaker, a rabid beast. It leaps high and slams itself into the ground. A large number of shakers have arrived, and now all incoming souls are angered. Also, we have Act 7 now. Pay attention. We can a new decree. Choose souring costs further 10%, but chance for souls to turn into Shaker is increased. And all sadist units die faster, but agitation rate is increased. Let's go with this one here, since it's rather easy for me to keep sirens. Also, we get a tribute now. Send tributes to the heavens, otherwise we're getting punished by that. So we need to send actually quite a bit for this. We have the tribute hall over here, and here every resource that we need to pay tribute to right now is being stored. And as we can see, we have stored most of them now. Just this one here is missing. What is that anyway? Acid, and we haven't produced this yet. It's being produced out of tears or cries, and this is being done right now. So yeah, plenty of time. We should be able to do this. Main mission is upgrading the Purgatory to number 3. This will cost me 800 bones, which is insane because bones cost me blood, and blood is the rarest resource you can have in this game, I think. Based on my feelings anyway. And yeah, we're upgrading the blood pumps for this over here. Holding in the resources and then upgrading them. Holding in the resources takes the longest time because they require 60 rust and 30 ember. Let's upgrade a few more. Of course, while they're upgraded, they're not working, right? So the more I upgrade, the lesser blood I have, or the fewer blood I have. Let's pay the tribute. Being paid off now. Into the heavens. Oh yeah, what is going on now? Alright, stalkers are now in place, and for these we need to produce scythes. And we need to house them in catacombs that I need to build.
Is excruciatingly lengthy. How long will you...
Also, Purgatory level 3 is coming along. This is great, because this is once again also increasing the rate at which we can turn souls into sinners. Alright, entanglement. A mortal ray of common sense. A thorn that punctures a kingdom. A drink that poisons the mind. A tale that would spin infinite lies. And a seed for domination. Always starting by sowing discord. Sporadic increases 30% effectiveness. What? Sporadic increased 30% effectiveness, or sporadic reduced 30% effectiveness? That's interesting. Alright. Since I'm a bit greedy, perhaps we go with the increased effectiveness. Perhaps I will actually regret this. And we get the poison vineyard now. Known as the mother of lingering pain, is a spike plant that destroys unsuspecting sadists. Smaller sprouts called vine saplings will grow randomly, and once the task is complete, she will wither away. And the sentinel, forged by Lucifer himself, is a construct built to keep the pest at bay. So this is a new type of soldier that we can once again have. For this, we once again need something new, and that's the sentry's chamber, right? There it is. The sentry. We're building this now along the paths. And there's the poison vineyard that we can now place also along the paths. Getting more destructive forces now in, like fires. There's another one here and another one here. So it's getting significantly harder now to keep everything stable, it seems. And there we got them working now too. And they're just basically lasering them away, any kind of threat. Pretty cool. Reddening, chapter 10. Heatwave is brutal, and incoming souls arrive more agitated, more unstable, and far more prone to turning. Okay, survive the trials, destroy as many sadists as possible before this chapter ends. And Raphael asks Michael about his loyalty to Lucifer, which is understandable. but he must choose between his family up above or the devil below. Increases stalker population, decreases siren population, increases siren. Okay. Let's go with more sirens. Even though it doesn't matter because I have a lot of both of them. And judgment is upon us. When the stage concludes, your domain will be weighed. Soldiers must outnumber sadists. Which is not a big deal right now since we have way more soldiers. And also don't forget, we can still get the wrath going. Sadists are killed easily during this pandemic if I activate that. So as soon as I see that we're getting a bit outnumbered, I can activate this one. And how is it looking up here, by the way? Right, so we got all 500 sinners working. But it's inoperative at the moment. Damsel of Distress must finish. So I actually think we finished it, right? I think we finished it way before this ended. So we got 100% submission and 100% soldier sadist. So I think we got no sadist right now. Nope. To keep it like that, we must ensure that we always have these security buildings enabled. So the Poison Vineyard and the Sentinel, they actually disappear after some time. Right, so we need to build them again to make sure that they have an effect. Alright, after a while we have it stabilized, and there it is, boss stage incoming. Really curious how this is gonna look. Seems like chaos. And yeah, Drown Ranger. Assign sinners to the Damsel of Distress, sewing it against the wall. And it is time. Activate the Damsel of Distress now to break the cliff wall. Alright, so this is over here. There it is. We got the sinners assigned.
Unreasonable. It is time to drown her.
There she is. We can also choke her, but this doesn't do much at this point. Archangel Gabriel impaled Rankta with a single throw. His act did not impress any of his brothers, leading to resentment. Rankta now embodies the same anger in hell. Stineth's health increased by 40. This looks nice. Okay, there will be more sadists now in the stage. And do not let 800 sinners, 900... Okay, do not let 1,500 sinners die. They have a bit more health now, so they should hopefully stay. And sadists are also killed more easily, but we don't have any sadists right now. So now I think we need to really finish this one here fast. All 500 sinners are working it. Okay, I can't really control this, it seems. Like, we're very close to 1,500 sinners that we get killed, but the problem is the progress here doesn't really increase, right? We're at 85%, and I do have, look at that, I do have 1,100 available sinners right now, and yet we are never really full on the sinner labor here. I also cannot really get my road over there any further, so it seems like this seems to be scripted to me. We'll just see what happens now. I'm at 93%, just as this one here reaches now the maximum. There's nothing I can do here to influence this, it seems. So we'll just see what happens. If I get to 100%. Alright, we've reached 100%. And thus we have defeated the Titan. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out the links in the video description. Stay tuned.